The divisional round of the NFL wraps up with two classic matchups on Sunday. Out in Tampa, the quest to repeat continues, but the Bucs will have a big step up in competition this time around with the Rams. For LA, this is precisely the type of game Matthew Stafford was brought in to win. And with Cam Akers back in the fold and looking as explosive as ever, this is suddenly a Rams team that might just be getting started.
You know you're going to have to go out there and score points, compete with a team that's led by Tom.
The Bucs came into this postseason with injuries at key positions on offense, but as he normally does this time of year, it was TB12 putting his team on his back and not skipping a beat versus the Eagles. And Brady is well aware he will likely to be even better against a defense that presents far more challenges.
It's that time of year where the margin of error is really slim.
In the nightcap, it's a rematch from last year's conference championship game at Arrowhead with the Chiefs hosting the Bills. Josh Allen looked like an unstoppable force against the Patriots, but this is the moment Allen and the Bills have been waiting for since falling one game short of the Super Bowl last season. And this time around, they're coming into KC clicking on all cylinders.
We've given ourselves a chance to accomplish what we want to accomplish. Now it's up to us to go out there and execute.
On the other side, Mahomes is also coming off an electric performance in the wild card round. And for the Chiefs to advance to their fourth consecutive conference championship, they'll need to start off a bit faster against a team that has already beaten them earlier this season in convincing fashion.
We know that it's going to be another fight for us if we want to try to move on to the AFC Championship game this year.
Who will take another step closer towards playing at SoFi Stadium in February? We're in for an epic Sunday in the NFL.
This is HQ, brought to you by Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. Let's talk Sunday games, and to do that, we welcome back Danny Kanell and bring in the Wizard of Odds, Kenny White. Kenny, how you feeling about Sunday?
Hey, loving it. We got two great games. This is going to be an amazing Sunday for the NFL.
All right, let's talk about Tom Brady and the Bucs barely breaking a sweat last week against the Eagles in the wild card game. Danny, they're going to be sweating some bullets this week against Aaron Donald and the Rams defense, aren't they?
They are, and it's going to be a completely different story this week going against this pass rush than what they saw last week when Tom Brady had all day and just sat back there, and Bruce Arians' words like a surgeon, and just picked him off. So I look at this game, and I kind of like the Rams, but they feel like they're getting more and more trendy, and I wonder if I'm just playing into that. So I'm going to stay away from that one, and I'm going to look at the total instead, and I'm going to take the under in this game. I just feel like, I think Tom Brady in this offense, there's no doubt they're not as prolific as they were with Antonio Brown and with Chris Godwin, and they just don't have the big play capability like they used to. Even with Mike Evans still out there and Gronk, it's more of a shorter, passing attack. And I do think they're going to struggle to protect Tom Brady. I think those big plays will not be out there. And for the Rams, I do think they're going to try to get their backs going again. So they'll take their shots and they'll try to get Odell Beckham and Cooper Kupp on the outside involved. But it is a run-based offense. And I think the Bucs might even realize, hey, we're going to struggle to protect Tom Brady, so we're going to try to run the football some more as well, which to me leads to a lower scoring game. And teams call plays a little bit differently in the playoffs. Kenny and I talked about that last week. So I think this will be a lower scoring affair. So I like the under.
Danny, I'm going to disagree with you today. I'm going to go over this total. I up and down. I think it's two great quarterbacks, and trying to run the football in either one of these defense, forget about it. I think both quarterbacks will throw it close to 50 times. Brady threw it 55 times the first time they played. 0-0 first quarter, ended up in a 35-24 game. And I know what you're saying. They had a couple other weapons those first games, but Tom Brady's developing more weapons every game, and there's still a high, potent offense. And again, if they have problems running it, they got to go to that short passing game. They'll just methodically move it downfield. And I think the Rams will have problems running as well. And it'll become a game that one team scores, the other team has to score. 59 points the first game, and that was in three quarters. First quarter was 0-0. 59 the next three. So I'm over. We got a little disagreement on that one.
All right. Love to see a little disagreement, Kenny. Love it. All right. The evening game, a rematch of the AFC title game last season. The Bills are in Kansas City to face the Chiefs. Bills looking to beat Patrick Mahomes and company this time, Kenny.
Yeah, this is going to be a great game. My numbers say I'm supposed to be on the Chiefs, but I've got tickets for the Bills to win the Super Bowl and the AFC. So I'm passing on the side. I'm rooting for the Bills. I want them to win this football game. But I'm betting the over. The first time they played 38-20. We've seen both these offenses last week just clicking on all cylinders. two great quarterbacks that can go up and down the field. And I think that's what you're going to see. You're going to see just back and forth. When you get a touchdown from one, the other team has to match. The other thing is, when we get this late in the season and we get to the divisional rounds, you don't see as many offensive holding calls. We want to protect these quarterbacks. We want to keep these star quarterbacks healthy the entire game. So very high-scoring football game, very few. I wish I could bet under offensive holding calls.
I like it. Maybe we give our sportsmen something to get on there. I'm not having any faith in any officials after what we saw last weekend in a couple of the games. I hope you cash your ticket because I'm on the Bills in this game. I like the Bills to win outright. I would just take them on the money line as opposed to taking the 1.5 points here. I think this is all about the viral picture of Stephon Diggs, who sat out in that field and kind of like just soaked in the moment of the loss last year in this game and what the Bills have been trying to get to. And that's a Super Bowl. It's not just to get to Kansas City and to beat them and to have an opportunity. It's about getting to the Super Bowl. Josh Allen, peak of his game. And I know both of these offenses were, really kicked into high gear. Chiefs a little bit of a slow start last week, but then they score on 6 straight. And, Josh Allen, what they did 7 straight against the Patriots defense was pretty phenomenal. No punts in that game. Remarkable performance there. So I think the Bills can carry this on. The sense of urgency and the sense of want to. You can want it the week of the game, but the Bills have wanted it all offseason. They've been hungrier to me, and I do think that matters in the prep and the lead up to this game. So I think that the Bills win the game out right here. And again, I'm going to disagree on the total. I'm going to say under on this one because I don't think either offense has as much success as they did last week. They were so hot, so on fire. And my buddy on Chip Patterson on the Cover 3 podcast, Jeremy, he likes to say that's just too many dadgum points. I'm looking at the total that is too high in this one. I think it'll be a little bit under, but this one scares me. I like the Bills on the money line better than the total, but I'm going to lean towards the under.
Highest total of the divisional round. So, Kenny, what's your top player prop for all of these games on Sunday?
I'm going to give you two player props, 2 quarterbacks. And a reason why I do like the game over, and I like that Tampa-LA Ram game over, I'm going to go both quarterbacks will throw an interception. Matthew Stafford over a half, -135, and Tom Brady over a half, +110. We've seen Stafford with the struggles and the turnovers the last to end the season, but Tom Brady threw an interception in 7 of his last 10 games in the regular season. I'd like to be getting plus $1.10 on every one of those games. And those teams weren't named the Rams, who are going to get after him a little bit, like Danny said. I just don't think they get to him. They're going to force him to get rid of the ball a little bit earlier than he'd like to. He threw 55 passes the first time they played, didn't throw an INT that day, but he'll throw one tomorrow. So both guys with an interception.
I like it, and hopefully they're not pick sixes because that'll mean less points for me on my underplay in that one. I'm going to look at Josh Allen. So I had a prop for him over his rushing total. It's high for a quarterback at 50.5 yards, but he's been over that number 4 games straight now. He's been over it several times this season, and I think this is that sort of crunch times of the season where you're not afraid of running Josh Allen, and when plays break down, he's a weapon in itself. He can scramble around, and nobody does a better job of buying time, pressuring the line of scrimmage, and making great decisions. Because if that defense keeps sitting back, he tucks the ball and runs it, usually gets pretty good chunk plays, either 10, 15, maybe 20 yards. But as soon as they come up to try to defend him, he rips it over the top with that can of an arm and hurts you there. But to me, Josh Allen, the best dual threat, yes, even better than Lamar Jackson, because the combination of running and passing talent makes him the best dual threat quarterback in the NFL. And I think in this type of game where you're just trying to make plays, I think he extends those, and I think he goes over that rushing total of 50.5.
Danny Kanell and the Wizard of Odds, Kenny White, joining us to discuss the Sunday slate of divisional playoff games in the NFL. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Let's recap those picks. So here's what Danny likes. In terms of the Rams at Tampa Bay, he likes the underplay, and he'll take the Rams. He likes the Bills on the money line. He also likes the under versus Kansas City, and his player prop, Josh Allen, to go over the 50.5. Kenny White says go over the total in both divisional games on Sunday. He thinks we're going to get a bit of a shootout, Buffalo and Kansas City. And his prop 2 for us, he's taking the 2 quarterbacks, Matthew Stafford and Tom Brady, to go over their interception totals in that one.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.